So for those of you who were looking for how I load my kayak, I also wanted to show you the details of how I actually put it up there and strap it on. So I've got a stripped down kayak right now. It's a little bit of a windy day, so hopefully you can still hear me. Stripped down kayak, pretty much everything's off, everything's buttoned down. I don't carry it with my seat. It is on the C-Tug wheels that I showed you before, and it makes things easier to move around. I'll give you an example of that. For example, it does make it easier to position, and this is the position I like to have it in. So I bring it up right next to the Jeep, I swing it back around, and I set it right here to about where I need it to go. Now, for those who have a Jeep or an SUV, it's about here on the back. So this is almost directly behind. And you'll see, actually, I might even pull it up a little bit further. Now that I think about it. Pull it up a little further. And it allows me to put more of it up. Now, you also notice that I have these. And what I'm going to do is show you. This is just some foam that I found, very thick, high dense foam that I found that I put on the front of my, just so that it doesn't get beat up. And then this, as we shall see in a moment here, is how I protect the top of my Jeep. So I am putting it on top, on top just to protect this area here. Mostly on this left hand side. You'll see I favorite this left hand side of the back of my Jeep from the front. Now we'll take the C-Tugs off. It's fairly easy, straightforward. It has a kickstand, so what I'm going to do is just going to take it, I'm going to move around with my feet, set it down. Now I'm going to switch around the this foam block, and here's why I do this. I need some way. This is where the wheel and the keel actually is a bit of a pain, because it needs to stop moving, and I need to stop it from getting away from me. So I'm putting this here. You'll see as I back it up, you'll see what happens. It'll give me something to rest it on. So here we go. It's pretty straightforward. Back onto the pad, lift it up onto the vehicle, just rest it on the vehicle. Now with the wheel and the keel and by itself, it would slide, but as it is now, it's not sliding anywhere. You can see it's pretty stable even in the wind. So I'll use this, the first handle, just to lift it, and then I'll grab onto, use the first handle to lift it, then I'll grab onto this solid handle to actually do the heavy lifting. So ready, here we go. Lift it up, grab onto the solid handle, slide it onto the rails, the pads, slide it straight up. And for this Jeep, I've been pretty good at lining it. I'm going to try to get it so that the pads are covering the bar, and I'll move it so that the L from the lure is right in line with this. That's just how I do it for the Liberty. Now we're done with these. You see I don't need these anymore. And what I'm going to do, while we're here, by the way, you can see where I put some of this Gorilla Tape. It's actually an invaluable lesson I learned from the Sag Lines and from the Facebook page for the lure group. Now I use these Yakima straps that came with one of the roof racks. I don't use the roof rack, but these are great straps. One, they're rubberized, so they don't mess up your car, and two, they're the kind that have tension and really don't need to be tied or buckled or anything fancy. So it makes it easy on, easy off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this so that this part, the part that I can open up and close, is obviously laying right about there on the lure. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to weave it through, under, and over on all four sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find where this goes. I'm just going to throw it over the top. Here we go. Throwing it over the top. Trying to keep it straight if I can. And then what I'll do, I let it hang down a little bit because as I pull, I don't want to be pulled inside. You can see I'm just trying to keep the strap straight. It's not needed, but, and also I try to keep it away from the pedals. They do stick up. That's the only downside from loading and unloading. They do stick up a little. So I'm keeping it away from the pedals. The way I have it, you'll see how I will do the rest of it. But it's pretty much in line with this bar is where I'm trying to make sure I line it up. I'll come around to this side. Now we'll take everything, loop it up, slide it under, bring it around the other side. I'm going to chuck this onto the other side. Again, lining it up with the bar. Pulling, you can see, and now I can start drawing that closer. It's actually a pretty good fit for my vehicle and the size of the kayak. Now, again, you'll see what I'm going to do here. Let me get on the other side so you can see it a little bit better. There's nothing in the way. I want it to go high, so I'm cinching it up a little bit, making sure it's tight. I'm going to press this down, slide it in so it gets onto the grip. I'm going to slide it up. I'm going to cinch down. Now I'm going to pull pretty tight because this is what's keeping it onto the vehicle, and I tend to also cinch it up like that. So nice and tight. At this point, the kayak's not going anywhere. But Brad at Stark Moon Kayak suggested I do it one more way and attach it to the vehicle. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to attach this to the vehicle using the other strap. And the way I'm going to do that, quite simple. Again, knowing where this goes, I'm going to run it through under the bar, the roof rack bar, through this handle. I'm going to pull it all the way tight, or I'm actually going to leave it out some. I'm going to throw this rest over. Okay, and what you'll see is I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. So I'm going to, and this one I don't care as much, other than the fact it goes through here first, goes through the bar, pulling it tight. It does rest against this little knob, so I do try to keep it away, but you know, quite honestly, I haven't seen it cause any problems. You'll see inside the Jeep, the same thing with the strap is, I will see it a little closer here, hopefully. Pull it tight. Get it nice and cinched up. And that's it. And you can see this thing isn't going anywhere. Now, some people will ask me, what about the tip? And I asked Brad about that, being a new kayaker. He said, for long trips, makes sense. I think I have not seen this move. I've been driving, you know, on roads that allow 70 miles an hour, and I have not seen this move one bit. I mean, it obviously has a little wind buffeting, but it's pretty aerodynamic the way it's sitting up there. This is why I like doing it bow first instead of the stern first.